Welcome to the Opinionated Geek podcast. I am your host, Jonathan Hanna, and I'm using new software again. So hopefully this works out good. I'm using not Twitch, XSplit right now, mainly due to the fact that I like some of the more advanced features, and we'll show you that in a few minutes. Uh, let's just talk about some of the games I've been playing. I did go over to my friend's house to play some board games. I didn't play anything new, but we did play Game of Thrones Catan in 4-player version. The other times we've done 3, and I would say the 4 players is a lot more challenging due to the fact that people are building more stuff more periodically, so therefore you have more wildlings coming to the wall. And we did have a few breaches. We did not lose the wall though, at any time, but and we didn't lose the game via breach. Because you do up to 3 breaches, and then it's a unsuccessful win. You can still win the game, but it's not a successful one. So we were able to win successful. I forget who won though. I forgot about my board game app. What's it called? It's called BG Stats, and it'll kind of give you a rundown of some of the games that you've been playing. I've only used it the one night, but this will never work, will it? How about I do this? I bet you if I do this, it'll show up. Yeah, there you go. So it's an app that basically gives you a rundown of all your stats and stuff, and as you fill it out, you'll get more statistics and stuff, and they have some DLC that you can buy, or microtransactions, whatever you want to call it. That gives you more info about the games you've been playing as you fill it out. I didn't win at all the whole night, but I seem to be, and when it comes to board games, I seem to be the Will Wheaton of our gaming group. So basically, even though they're my games, a lot of them are my games anyway, and I never win any of them. But it's not what board games are about. It's all about having fun with your friends and enjoying the time that you have with them. Far Cry 5, still playing it. I think I said last week, I think I did say. If not, I did beat Faith. And now I'm on to the, I think it's John Seed. I've come to the realization of what I don't like about Far Cry 5. They use cheap tactics when it comes to progressing the story along. With Faith, I didn't feel like it was too cheap. Basically, you come across Faith in I can never get this right. Hallucinations. There we go. Hallucinations. And you can, talk to her, or sometimes you run into her, or whatever, and it gives you a trip, and then you go into this little world, and it seems much more natural. Now that I'm in the John Seed area, I'm not sure if this happened before, but I don't recall it happening in the Faith area. But in John Seed area, I'll basically be doing something, and I'll hit a progression point. And then all of a sudden it says, hunting. Something about hunting group is after you. And then all of a sudden you'll hear like a blowgun, or what I assume is a tranquilizer dart gun noise, but it sounds more like a blowgun, like it's a silenced tranquilizer dart gun. And all of a sudden you'll start to fade out, and then of course you go into this whole another section, and somehow you escape every single time. I don't quite get it. Don't really know, but it's a stupid mechanic because the issue is it doesn't matter where you are, you're going to get that stupid gun shot to your wherever you are. So last night when I was playing, I was in a helicopter, maybe 1,000 feet up, I'm guessing. I'm not sure what that is in foreign terms with the metric system, but anyway, I'm up that high, and all of a sudden it says like raiding party or something is coming to get you, and I'm like, well, this is about the time that I noticed what was going on and what happens with that whole situation, and all of a sudden it just you hear that stupid noise, and then you just fade, and then you go through the whole process, and then of course you come back, and it's like I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. They shot me while I was flying a helicopter. I would have to have wrecked the helicopter, and then somehow I made it out alive. They got me. Uh, just it's a stupid game mechanic for what you're having to actually deal with the whole game. It's just a cheap mechanic so they can say, oh, let's do this and do that. Okay. That's really all I've been playing right now. I have decided my next game I will be streaming after I'm done Far Cry 5 is I am going to do Divinity Original Sin 2. Even though it's probably going to be a horrible experience for me. Why? Because there's a lot of strategy in that game, and I'm not the best strategist. But I think it's a fun game. It's a fun story-driven game, and I think it can keep people interested in it. With compared to Far Cry, where it's basically it's just an open world game. There's a lot of shooting, so there's not a lot of follow up stuff that I could talk about. It's just like, oh look, I'm shooting more people. Oh, and there's some more people I'm shooting. So there's not a whole lot of story going on that I can like commentate on it. And I'm trying to get better at basically just talking to myself and talking about random things, but I'm not perfect by any means. So we're going to do that, and hopefully that will be a better experience. Plus, the game's really long, and there's lots to talk about with that game, and there's lots of stuff that can happen with that game with the way the battle system is and whatnot. So, that's the games that's the games I played, and the game I will be playing. And now let's get on to news, and also why I feel like I'm going to try to use XSplit. The only problem is with XSplit, there's either a subscription or you can buy a lifetime license. The lifetime license, it seems to be whenever I look, it's always on sale. So I'm not sure if it's the new price or I just happen to look at it every time it's on sale. But essentially, XSplit is a $200 piece of software on sale. Now, if that's their whole gimmick where they're like, oh, it's on sale now every time I look at the webpage, but it's always $200. Nonetheless, $200 is really expensive for a piece of streaming software. Now, there's another piece of streaming software that, hey, how's it going? That the more professionals use, and that is $500. And that is something I don't need to use. I always have for everything explicit, at least that I'm aware of. I could be wrong, but yes, I'll occasionally curse, but for the audio podcast people, that is, I'm talking to somebody in the Twitch chat. For the record, but anyway, so here's why I'm using XSplit, at least for the podcast. I'm definitely still using Streamlabs OBS for when I stream games, but the regular OBS Studio wasn't working out because I like the features in XSplit. Some of it's really pointless. I just like some of the features. So, like for example, all right, first I want to talk about Dark Souls Remastered. Now, one of the reasons why I like XSplit is, as you can see, uh, I was able to put it at a cool little angle. As far as I know, OBS right out of the package doesn't have the feature to move it at an angle like that. I know, stupid feature that I actually would care about, but to me, I like the look. It looks a little bit more professional. But anyway, this one I like to just point out that with Dark Souls Remastered, it kind of sucks, and you can tell that uh, the developers are mainly console people, just due to the fact that Dark Souls 1 and 2 was pretty crappily ported, so they're still getting used to PC. Dark Souls 3 was a lot better and was kind of fully featured, so they did a lot better job. But what kind of annoyed me is both Bioshock and Skyrim are the two of the remasters that I have already gotten on Steam. And basically, because I already own the originals, you got them for free. It just makes sense. In fact, even with Dark Souls, you can actually do a bunch of patches and stuff and almost probably get to, if not better than this Dark Souls remaster that's coming out. I could be wrong. I haven't really seen a side by side comparison of about what they're going to, the actual Dark Souls remaster is going to be like. But usually, even with Skyrim, they're like, well, we got a whole bunch of add-ons that made it look as good as the remastered, if not better. So, kind of the stupid thing is they're actually charging you for this remastered if you want to upgrade to the remastered instead of just giving it to us for free, like the guys who did Bioshock and guys who did Skyrim. So, granted, it's only $20 compared to what the PS4 and Xbox One people are going to have to spend is $40, but nonetheless, it's just a little nitpicky thing that it kind of bothered me that all those places are actually selling them, or they actually gave it to us for free, and now all of a sudden, because it's mainly a console type developer, and they're still wanting money. But what you gonna do? Next bit of news that I'm kind of excited about, despite the fact that I don't have a Nintendo Switch, is it looks like Wave Race might be coming back. And I bet you they already do have enough mods and stuff to have to do better graphics and stuff and make it perform better. But anyway, yeah, Wave Race might be coming back. On when I first got my Nintendo 64, we got it Christmas of '95. Two games we got were Wave Race and Mario 64, and I still have kind of a love for Wave Race, even though I've never jet skied in my life or ski dude. But I've always liked the game, even though it's a racing game, and I'm typically not a racing game fan, but it always was fun. But so that might be coming back. There is rumors the director, which I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce his name because I'm sure I'll get it wrong, but he hints that the series may return soon. So that is kind of cool. The next bit of news, which is actually kind of a shocker, Valve buys Firewatch developer Campo Santo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So this is kind of weird because Valve's been kind of, besides the Portal Bridge Maker, and they're apparently making a Dota card game. But for the most part, it seems like they've been not doing any really big games in quite a while. So it's kind of weird that they're buying this indie game developer because they haven't been making any games. Now, they have been rumored that they're going to make a. Yeah, the card game. Yeah. But it seems like everybody has to have a card game nowadays. But now they have been working on, apparently, according to Gabe Newell, two uh, full VR games. So if that's to be true, but he also said they were working on Half-Life 3 at one point. So if it's to be true, they are still working on games. It's just they're not going to be releasing or letting anybody know until they're definitely ready. But this is kind of weird, so I'm kind of curious about if I don't think the developers of Firewatch have anything to worry about money wise because I think Firewatch did fairly well from what I can tell. I played it, although I was kind of disappointed with it because it's kind of a sucky ending. And it was my first literally walking simulator. Like there's literally nothing to do except for walking around. You can pick stuff up, but you don't have to. It's quite pointless. You're just walking. But it was still entertaining enough that it was actually fun. So it's going to be kind of curious. I'm wondering what Valve plans to do with the developer. But I'm hoping they do some pretty cool things with it. Next bit of news. I'm trying to go through this because I actually do have a bit of news to get through. All right. Vampire Masquerade. I've never played Vampire the Masquerade. Uh, I've always been a Dungeons and Dragons / Pathfinder guy, but I've always been intrigued due to the fact that I tend to like dark and gothy things. Uh, but they're coming up and finally making a fifth edition, and it's going to be coming this summer. Let's see where it says. Yeah, apparently the last edition of the game, which I'm assuming is fourth edition. It better be fourth edition. Uh, it's been around 14 years or 15 years. I'm sorry, since they made the last edition. Which, in the grand scheme of things, when you look at Dungeons and Dragons history, they didn't get up till third edition. I mean, it got started in the 70s, and it didn't get to the third edition until the 90s. So that's not too long, but I guess when stuff is starting to progress a lot faster, I guess people want more and more updates and more different features, change up the game a little bit. I mean, that's for the most part. That's why when Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition came out, we moved to Pathfinder because our group, we thought it was too much of a change, and we went to basically what they call it, like 3.8. They called Pathfinder the Dungeons and Dragons 3.8. So it was still 3.5, but a little bit different, made some things a little bit easier, but then in the late game, it really drug stuff out with all the crap. So, if anybody's into tabletop RPGs, that will be coming out. But as far as I know, our gaming group, nah, we won't be playing it. Even though I would be curious to find a group that actually does play it, because I wouldn't mind testing it out and see what it's like. All right, this is kind of a nifty thing. Just because I like Discord, even though I have nobody to actually chat with on Discord. But Xbox players will soon be able to link their Discord accounts, which I'm assuming that would mean that you'd be able to chat in Xbox Live as well as the Discord chat rooms. The cool thing is, if you go into official chat rooms, like I know PUBG has one, and OBS has one and stuff like that. But when you like get into actually official gaming chat rooms, then it's a lot easier to find a group because, like, for example, if you do play PUBG and you have no friends on Steam, like I have friends on Steam, but none of them play PUBG. And on that rare occasion that I do like to play PUBG, uh, there's nobody to play with, so you always got to do the 100-man solo, and you're basically dead in a couple minutes because you got nobody to watch your back. So it's kind of cool that they allow that. And in all reality, actually, this is a really, it just hit me. One of the cool things about, for example, Street Fighter V is its cross-play with PlayStation. Now, let's say you're getting a whole group of people together to play some Street Fighter V. Well, some people have PlayStation versions, some people have PC versions. What's the best way to chat? They do have their like little quick computer commands and whatnot, and you can actually I think they got a little chat program on PlayStation. Now that I think about it, I'm not sure. But either way, one of the best ways is, let's say, you're like, well, I don't got a computer, so I can't get Discord. Boom, cell phone. So you basically play your Street Fighter V, hook your phone up to the Discord app, throw some headphones on the actual cell phone, and you can start talking to your PC buddies as you're playing, so you can actually have a nice practice, and you can get better. And one person can tell you what you're doing wrong or what they're doing wrong, etc., etc. So what's really cool is, since Microsoft is closing the gap with PC and Xbox, with the idea of, if you own an Xbox, if you buy the Xbox game, you basically get the Windows version, as long as it's, I guess, one of their products. So this is actually really cool, because then you can actually start chatting back and forth with console and PC, and it's integrated, so you don't have to use a cell phone. So I like this idea, despite the fact that I'll never probably get an Xbox One. If they actually get some games that I actually want to play, I would definitely be interested in Xbox, but right now, not so much. Alrighty. Next bit of news is for the PC folks, and more so the PC Twitch Prime folks. Twitch Prime announced their new 6 games that they're going to give you for free this upcoming month on May 1st. So it's May 1st to the 31st that you can get these games. And of course, you have to use the Twitch app, which sucks. I wish there was like Steam keys or GOG keys, but no. You got to use their Twitch app. But you're going to get Cluster Truck, which, the only reason you would want to play Cluster Truck is if you hate yourself. It's one of those games that is tied in with Twitch, and you can actually have your Twitch chat vote on stuff that happens in the game. And naturally, the Twitch chat just makes you want to suffer. So they always do stuff that's horrible and makes you want to rage quit. So Cluster Truck is that option if you want to have that. Gone Home is a walking simulator, and I haven't played it, mainly because I thought it was like a horror type game, but from what I understood, it is not anymore. or not anymore. It isn't, but just the way it is portrayed, it looks like it's a horror game, but I don't think it is. So I kind of want to actually go play it now. I have it on a because they gave it away on some service. I think it's like Twitch. No, it's Itchy.io. I think that's what it was that I got it for free, and I never go to that site, so I always forget about it. So now that's available on the Twitch Prime, I'll probably get it. High Hell is the another game. I've never heard of it, and I don't know what it is. Neither have I played I Hope, or I Hope. Don't know what the heck that is, but it looks kind of Zelda-y just by looking at the actual picture on the on I guess what you would consider the front of the game box, even though they don't do game boxes anymore for PC. Psychonauts, I think everybody kind of knows what Psychonauts is, and hey, it's free. Titan Souls, I think that's I could be wrong, but I think it's like a puzzle adventure type game. Uh, I want to say I have that somewhere, whether it's Steam or GOG or something. The title definitely looks very familiar, so I might have that somewhere. So yeah, I think this is really cool. And again, Twitch, Amazon just keeps on giving you more and more and more stuff with your subscription to Prime. So it's almost like a no-brainer to own Prime nowadays, especially if you're a gamer. And I absolutely love it. And I don't like to be a someone that is obsessed with a company, because I also know that Amazon's recording everything on my little Amazon Echo. Or at least, I got one, two, three, four in the house. So yeah, they're selling my information left and right. But yeah, so this is 6 games that they're doing this month instead of the last two. They only did 5 games, but so far they've been doing fairly well. Uh, I still want to check out Kingsway. That was last month's game that they gave you. Uh, and of course, the month before they had Super Hot and Oxenfree. I already played Oxenfree on here. I really enjoyed that. It had like a Life is Strange vibe, but not like Life is Strange at all. But the voice acting is great in Oxenfree. All right, what's the next one? Oh, this one's kind of like the where I'm not sure how I feel about, but YouTube is going through some interesting times right now. Apparently, YouTube networks are dropped thousands of creators as YouTube policy shifts. I don't know what YouTube's really attempting to do here. I want to say they started at one spot, like they like the creator realm, and now they're, I think, slowly switching to become like a Netflix thing, slowly but surely. They can't obviously just knock everybody off and say we're done with this, but I feel like that's where they're going, because they already did the Google TV thing, and I think they're going to slowly turn this into a platform that's only it's for like a freaking network essentially. So what sucks is I think a lot of people are going to really miss a lot of the stuff here. Now, there's some stuff I think will still end up being a mainstay on there, like Geek and Sundry. I still think will be around just because they're so big that they could be on TV. Granted, I'm sure they could up their quality a little bit as far as like the stages and stuff, but again, that requires money. And YouTube might give them that once they actually get rid of all of the other people that they don't care about that they have to pay. But yeah, Hmm. Are you hearing that? Bu beauty? Uh, uh, we might have to go back to OBS. This is my first time using. Okay, so, huh? That's weird. I wish I knew what was wrong there, Geth Legacy, but yeah. Apparently the audio is perfect for one person. There's apparently 3 people in here. If the other person could speak up, that would be awesome. But anyway, so yeah, I think YouTube's slowly killing off the little guys and is just focused on getting the professional. I say professional, but I mean the people that are making them the most money, like the PewDiePies and stuff like that. And they've already bought the rights to the Karate Kid sequel. So, and I think most people have seen that trailer. And yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about that. I was kind of all excited for it, but then I realized you have to have YouTube Red if you're going to see it, and I'm just like, nah, I'm not really interested in that. But yeah, from what I gather, YouTube networks are really important just due to the fact that they help with copyright claims and all that stuff. I've just basically ignored the copyright claims. If something gets copyrighted or demonetized when I upload it, I usually just say, forget about it. It is what it is, and I've never tried to fight it. Mainly because I don't know what the heck I'm doing, and I feel like if I did fight it, I might lose my channel just because I did. So I never bother with it. So it looks like YouTube is going a different direction, and they're slowly phasing everything out. They've already did it earlier with the whole what you call it, where they took the little guys out. Like literally, I was getting a little bit of money from some of my videos, not much at all, at all. In fact, I've never even received a check. That's how little. So they've completely cut me out from even slowly racking up money. And of course, so it basically left the mid tier to high tier people, and now it looks like they're changing stuff up so much that networks are dropping all their creators. I'm sure not all of them, but the large majority of them. And we're slowly, eventually going to have nothing in the end. All right, let's get into Hollywood type crap. So, the new trailer for Venom came out. I don't know how I feel about that at all. It could be just like they don't want to give too much away, but it seems just like it's Tom Hardy with tentacles throughout the majority of the film, and you might see Venom through like the last quarter of the film, and that's about it. And it doesn't look that great. But then again, I'm not a huge Tom Hardy fan. I don't think. Yes, it does. It looks real cheap. In fact, actually, it's funny because somebody actually put that right next to the Spider-Man 3 Venom, and they're like, "Oh, it looks so much better." It's like it looks slightly better. It's not that great. Now, don't get me wrong. When you watch the trailer, it looks a little bit better in motion, but not by much. So, I I, I think this is going to be a rough one. I don't think it's going to do well. I mean, it's going to do well money wise because people will just go and see it, but like just what people are going to say about it, I don't think people are going to be too positive about it. My thing is, it's like they should do what they did with the original Deadpool. Already have him in the Venom, full Venom, and kind of over time tell the backstory. What I think they're going to be doing is it's just going to be another origin film where they're literally he's not Venom, and then we're going to work up to him actually in the suit, and by the end of the movie, he's going to like have like a big scene where he's Venom, and that's how I think it's going to go, and I'm not really going to be thrilled about it at all. But since we got Movie Pass, we're going to just watch it anyway, as long as if the Movie Pass service is still available at that point in time. Of course, this one's what another thing I'm going to be excited about. Uh, Again, as far as we know, this is going to be, at least in the U.S., Amazon has bought the rights to The Witcher, the TV rights to The Witcher, and it's going to apparently be season 1 will feature 8 episodes, and the pilot could air hopefully around 2020. So roughly have to wait a year, but I'm like, well, next year we got Game of Thrones, the last season of that, so I think this will be a nice way to end Game of Thrones and then just start with The Witcher. But I'm excited about to see what they do with The Witcher as far as a TV series. I think it could be really good, or they could go really bad. But we'll have to wait and see. All right. Friday, I went and seen Super Troopers 2. How do I feel about Super Troopers 2? I want to say with Super Troopers 2, I think it's going to end up being like Super Troopers, the original one. When I first watched the original Super Troopers, I thought it was kind of dumb, not really all that great. And then the more over the years that I had watched it whenever it would like come on or whatever, it started to grow on me. And I'm hoping that's the way this one's going to be. But I really thought the intro to the film was just dumb. I didn't look at the cast, but they had a couple of Mad TV crew in there. Will Sasso was in there. But for the most part, like the first half of the film was kind of making fun of America, which I got to chuckle out of, just due to the fact that it's basically a America versus Canada cops type story. But in the end, it kind of turned out to be like the first movie, where it's like, oh, they just automatically assume it's the Mounties that are running these drugs, and of course they changed it up a little bit from the original film, but not all that much. I forget what mainly because I can't pronounce her name, but she's I think she's Spanish, but she was on 100 Girls and the Don't Mess with Zohan movie from Adam Sandler. She was in that, so that made me happy. But overall, I thought it was an okay film. I guess it did what it did. It entertained me, essentially. And that's all I really care about, as long as the movie does what it's supposed to do. Because, like, for example, last week when I seen Rampage, I'm like, was it a great movie? No. Did it entertain me? Yeah. Was that what it was supposed to do? Yes. So, as long as it does that. But when you do the whole, this is what the movie's supposed to be, and this is what I got, that's when I get a little annoyed at a movie. But as long as it stays consistent with what it's supposed to do, I'm cool with it. But Would I actually go out and buy this when it comes out? Probably not. If it's if it goes on sale for like pretty cheap, because actually I never owned Super Troopers, the original one, but I saw it was on sale on I guess everywhere, because I saw it originally when I was looking for this trailer to download. Uh, I saw it on YouTube for $5, and then I went on Voodoo.com and they had it for $5 too. So I was just like, what the heck, we'll get it. So if it's cheap enough, I'll get it. But anyway, I like to keep this podcast around an hour, so that way it makes it easier to download, upload, and do all that stuff. Uh, so I think we're going to call it here for tonight. For those that don't know, you can actually download the audio podcast for those that obviously are having problems hearing it at the Opinionated Geek, theopinionatedgeek.com. I got to make sure people can hear the at the beginning of it. So theopinionatedgeek.com, and I also upload it to my YouTube channel, but my YouTube channel is a little bit more difficult because the fact I'm not so popular. I don't have like a youtube.com/darkmare or the Opinionated Geek. I need to actually get more popular on YouTube before they'll allow me to have a custom URL. So basically just look up Darkmare on YouTube and you should find me. But anyway, that is the podcast for right now, and I do those uploads on, not a problem. I do this every Tuesday night, and I upload them to audio and YouTube. It's going to be on Thursdays. So if anybody is interested, they'll be there. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll play some more Far Cry 5 for whatever reason tomorrow. Or wait, yeah, tomorrow, yeah. Anyway, see you later.